Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. We're here to look back at the GTMC Season 4, Round 4, Lobby 2 at St. Croix. So the GTMC is our manufacturers-based championship where our sim racers choose a Group 4 and, well, a manufacturer, and they'll race their Group 4 and Group 3 cars. So they qualify with the Group 4 cars and go on to have a sprint race using the racing super soft tyres only, and then they will jump into that manufacturer's Group 3 car and race for a 40-minute sprint race. So we're on round 4. Let me take you to the tables before we have a look at the grid. Which one am I looking at? The championship drivers, I believe. Shadow Rider is in the chat saying sup homie. So after 3 rounds, the table looks like Geordie is at the top with 138 points. Second place is Shadow Rider on 129 points. Skyjacker third is on 125 points. Jim fourth on 107 points. Cymex is in 5th on 105 points. Bunny 6th on 89 points. Joker 7th on 85 points. Pat is in 8th on 84 points. Jam is 9th on 69 points. Rivixter 10th on 65 points. Dutch 11th on 24 points. And Flashman 12th on 20 points. The manufacturer's table looks a little bit like this. Let me just get around to it. Hyundai at the top on 139 points, with Porsche in second on 129 points, Toyota third on 125 points, Ferrari fourth on 118 points, Dodge a 5th with 105 points, Jaguar 6th on 90 points, McLaren 7th on 89 points, Ford 8th with 84 points, and Mercedes 9th with 65 points. That is the table. They qualified for 5 minutes, and we will have in the Group 4 cars, and we will see what order they are on the grid. Let me have a sip, because that was a long intro. Felt long. You've been very patient, but I do know that most of you just skip up till you see the green lights in the chat. Wow, it's busy. Racer Brown saying hello thingy and all. Pat also saying hiya, what's up. Nico Wivery saying what's up. Racer Brown saying how are we, Shadow Rider. Skyjacker saying evening, and Gary Richards saying you. So the grid. Don't let me get distracted. So this is the Gran Turismo Manufacturers Championship Season 4, Lobby 2, Round 4 at St. Croix. And we'll look at the grid after 5 minutes of qualifying. We can see there's the Toyota on pole for Skyjacker. I think I remember he got pole last round, so absolutely flying out there is Skyjacker. In second spot we have Jim in the Ferrari. Brilliant job. Third we have Bunny in the McLaren. In fourth we have Cemex in the Dodge Viper. In 5th we have a Rivixter in the Mercedes. That is a nice looking Mercedes as well. In 6th we have Jocus in the Jaguar. Is that? Yeah, Jaguar. In 7th we have Flashman in the Porsche. Nice. In 8th we have Pat in the Ford Mustang. And in 9th we have Shadow Rider in the second Porsche. So that's how the grid looks. So let's continue on to the sprint race, 15-minute race on the super soft tyres. Lobby 1's was a humdinger, and I expect no less from these guys. Oh, I think I've got to press play, haven't I? That helps. So we're watching Skyjacker on the grid as the lights change. He's holding that accelerator, waiting. Oh, it's held them for long, and they go now. There I go. You can see the Jaguar absolutely flying through the pack in the third pack. And Jim, wow, Jim flying off of the start with Skyjacker dropping down in second. No, Joker's in the Jaguar. We saw the Jaguar from far back, and look how he's leapt up. Joker's up into second in the Jaguar. Skyjacker dropping down into third in the Toyota. Bunny in fourth in the McLaren with Simex in fifth. Pat at sixth in the Mustang. He's a man on the move. With Rivixter dropping down in the Mercedes behind Shadow Rider's Porsche, and we have Flashman falling to the back of the pack for now. Amazing start from Jim, but now you can see Skyjacker is attacking the Jaguar. He wants to get past, he wants a piece of that action. Oh, hang on, I'll get it right, there you go. So we're sat on board Joker, so I did that all wrong. I wanted Skyjacker. He looks like he's dropped a little bit further back. I thought he was all over the Jaguar. Now the Jaguar is looking like it's caught up the Ferrari. That Jaguar is carrying some speed for Jokers. Is he under braking the Ferrari? Is he going to get that inside line? Is there enough room? And he does it. Jokers takes the lead from Jim in the Ferrari, and here comes Skyjacker. Then two racing each other, giving Skyjacker the chance to make the move up into second ahead of Jim. The little barrier touch as they go around, but yes, beautiful stuff. And it looks like Joker's hit the barrier in front of him and slowed himself down. Now they're both hurtling towards Joker's, getting out of his way. Jim back up into second with Skyjacker. No, Jim's in the lead again. Jim is in the lead with Joker's in second, and Skyjacker's in third, and Bunny is right on the back of the action for this little battle here at St. Croix. We haven't even completed lap one yet. Oh, the Joker's putting that Jaguar really far out, nearly onto the kitty litter, and Joker's now retaking the lead. Skyjacker looking like he went a bit slow. Looks like Skyjacker's having some issue there. He's dropping down the field. Oh, Jim, he must have had a knock with Jim, it seems. He's waiting for Jim. Sorry, we'll have a quick look to see what happened there. Jim in the lead, and Skyjacker's very close behind. Was there a little nudge, maybe a little nudge that sent Jim a little wide in that corner? So Skyjacker having to slow down and wait. This changes the complexion of the whole race. So Jokus retakes the lead with Bunny in second in that McLaren, chasing down the Jaguar. Simex now up into third for the Dodge Viper team. Pat Ford Mustang in the fourth. Great stuff. Shadow Rider moving up into fifth place for Porsche, with Rivixter in sixth in that Mercedes, being closely followed by Flashman. It's cracking racing down there, and Jim and Skyjacker a little adrift, but still only 2.5 minutes into this 15-minute race. Anything can happen. In the chat then we still see Gary Richards backing Pat, fellow Stang user. Skyjacker saying, I watch all of it, bud. Shadow Rider says, all good racer, how you doing? Darren says, evening all. Shadow Rider said, I spun 4 times. Oh my, spoiler. And Racer Brown saying, oh no mate. So Jokus still in the lead from Bunny, but he's gone out wide. He's gone out wide there at the top of the hill. This is giving Bunny the opportunity to try and get that McLaren, but I just don't think he's got that top end speed that the Jaguar's got. But he's going to try and do under braking in the next corner. He can't quite there, but Simex is catching him up extremely quickly in the Dodge. Sitting on board third place, Simex chasing down the McLaren and the Jaguar. We've got Shadow Rider just behind us. He's checking it out. He's very close in the tow, trying to pull through there. You can see Pat in fifth in the Mustang. It's all bunched up. Under braking, there goes the Porsche of Shadow Rider up into third. Can he maintain it? Simex coming back at him. They're side by side. Some great racing here from the Porsche and the Dodge Viper. Fantastic stuff. Joker still maintaining the lead from Bunny. Shadow Rider trying to get past the Dodge Viper. Simex there making his presence felt by the Porsche driver. Pat's edging closer together to these two, or else they're racing, and Rivixter in sixth. Looks like he's unimpeded, getting those. Well, they're on the second lap, they all get purples. Skyjacker's caught up Flashman with Jim, and now, and these three having their own little battle in the background. Excuse me. Bunny's taking the lead from Jaguar. He's up the inside. Can he maintain it? But the power of the Jaguar still just buzzing past the McLaren. And Bunny's still sitting there in second with Shadow Rider in third. Simex under pressure from the Mustang now. The Mustang all over the back of the Dodge Viper. Rivixter is just behind us. I can't quite see him in the mirrors, so there's nothing for Pat to worry about there. He should just concentrate on the battle ahead of him. Sees the back end of that Dodge Viper. We're nearly 5 minutes, sorry, into this 15 minutes race. Oh, there's action up front. There's action up front. Joker's still leading from Bunny. Shadow Rider really close in the action now for all the top three, with Simek there just a little bit further back, but there is going to be a move here. There's Bunny trying to make a move on the Jaguar, and Shadow Rider up the inside. They tried to catch Jaguar out. The Jaguar's breaking out, but no. Joker's maintaining that position. And Bunny's still hot on the tail of the Jaguar. Simek has managed to get ahead of Shadow Rider. It looks like they all had to got caught out a little bit by Jokers breaking into that corner. Shadow Rider losing a position to Simek. Now Simek all over the back of the McLaren. This is just what Jokers needs. He needs these guys to be distracted so he can concentrate on his driving. But it's very close here for the you can see even Skyjacker now up into 7th, Jim in 8th, and they're catching up the back of this pack. You can see the Mercedes definitely of Rivixter, and Jaguar is under pressure from that McLaren. The McLaren going for the inside line, and the Jaguar just sitting there. He knows he's got the power out of the corner just to blast past that McLaren. But the McLaren looks like he's holding that lead there side by side, coming down the straight, and Simek's trying to join them. 3 wide. Can they do it? Joker's still leading in the Jaguar. Simek's just got ahead of the McLaren. He's got the inside line. 2 Jokers, and Simek looks like he's taking the lead. But no, Joker's in the Jaguar. He will not give it in. He's out, takes that corner really wide now, and oh no, he's met the dust, but he's maintained, he's kept his car going. He's dropped down to 3rd place, but there comes Pat in 4th. Pat all over the back of the Jaguar now. He's brought Shadow Rider along back with him. Rivixter is not far back away from this pack, and there's Skyjacker, Jim and Flashman has dropped away a little bit. So Simek now is leading from Bunny. Jokers, after his small off, just a part of the wheel onto the dust, and here comes Pat and Shadow Rider. Pat making a move up into 4th. Shadow Rider trying to get back in the toe of that Porsche. Pat going defensive into turn 1 and maintaining 4th place. Great stuff, but he's gone wide, and so is Jokers ahead of him. So Jokers and Pat both going wide. Rivixter not close enough to get an advantage out of it, but he's getting closer to Pat. Shadow Rider then up to 4th, getting up the inside of the Jaguar. Jokers trying to catch that Jaguar after his small off. And now Joker's down into 4th place. So Simex is leading, but Bunny is not far behind. Both of them have got equal tyre wear. We're coming up to 8 minutes into this race. Shadow Rider is sitting on the podium for now, but Jokers is harrying him all the way. Jokers will not give up. He wants some of that champagne back in the toe of that Jaguar, and we know it's a powerhouse down the straights. So, and talking about powerhouses down straights, here's the Mustang, the Mercedes catching up nicely. Skyjacker leading the next little pack. He's not far away though. There still can be something out of this if someone gets it all wrong. Jim following Skyjacker all the way, keeping the pressure on, with Flashman a little further back. So Simex is under pressure from Bunny. Bunny's got the inside line there. They're side by side again. Bunny he's just got it. He's just got the lead. He's been chasing it down for nearly 9 minutes, and now he's finally got it. Bunny in the lead of this race, but it looks like Simex has got the power in the Dodge. Just a blast past him. Bunny's out wide. You don't make the same mistake Jokers did. He's kept it in the white lines. Great stuff. And now Bunny is taking the lead from Simex. What a great race these two are having in the McLaren and the Dodge. Shadow Rider there, 3rd, still under pressure from Jokers. Jokers doing all he can to get past that Porsche. Rivixter, he's not quite close enough to join the party, but just over the hill you can see Pat. Skyjacker has caught Pat up. He's brought Jim along as well. Now Pat is under pressure from the Toyota and the Ferrari. Cracking race down here. Rivixter also now, he looks like he's made a mistake and they've all caught him up. With Skyjacker in 6th, Jim in 7th, Pat's dropped down to 8th place. And Flashman there. Whoa, what's going on down there? Rivixter still holding that 5th place, but there comes Skyjacker on the comeback. He's comebacker with Jim following him through, not giving an inch. Way, and Pat goes flying up into the air and manages to get past Jim. Amazing stuff. The lead then, Bunny still leading. Oh, Shadow Rider is up into 2nd place. Shadow Rider somehow getting past the dodge of Cymex. Cymex down into that 3rd spot. Are they starting to feel some tyres issues? It does look like Cymex is burning his tyres a little bit more than the 2 guys ahead of him, with Joker's dropping off at the back of these 3. His tyre wear also looking a little bit more than the McLaren and the Porsche. Next we have Skyjacker up in 5th. Seems to be doing fine. Tyre wear's not his issue. Pat is up into 6th ahead of Jim. Rivixter's dropped down to 7th. 8th for Rivixter. And Flashman there, not being able to make every week because of shift patterns. He's trying to catch up, get up to speed, use it as a bit of practice. So Bunny leading the way still from Shadow Rider in the Porsche. He's trying to hunt him down. It's very close. We're nearly 11 minutes into this race. And Racer Brown's asking, is Shadow Rider going to get another win? It's looking close. It's Bunny's to lose. And Shadow Rider seems to be on a mission at the moment. He's got the Porsche really in the sweet spot. It looks like Bunny is having to defend. He hasn't got the grip in that corner. And there goes Shadow Rider. He goes through to take the lead. We're 11.5 minutes into this race, and Bunny, he looks like he's lacking grip, front grip in that McLaren. It looked like it was a struggle for him to get into that corner, but oh look, he's just going wide lines all the way round. I think he's lost all grip. Cymex is the next in the queue that Bunny's got to watch out for. And it really does look like McLaren really looks uncomfortable in the corners. Cymex catching it up rather quickly in 3rd. Jokers is the next down the line, but his tyres are also looking a little scuffed, with Skyjacker closing in on the Jaguar. He's got Pat just behind him in 6th. Rivixter in 7th. They're all in view of each other. Jim there in 8th place, and even Flashman there on the same straight as the other guys. Shadow Rider then, the leader of the pack, in his Porsche. Shadow Rider already 2 wins this season, where he's won the feature race in round 2 and won last week the sprint race. So he just can't break the habit. As soon as he started winning, he just can't stop doing it this season. Skyjacker's question marks, wants to see what happens. We've nearly 13 minutes to go, only 2 minutes left of this race. Bunny in 2nd, Cymex is there catching him up, Joker's 4th. Skyjacker really has caught up Joker's right now. Pat there in 5th. Jim has got himself ahead of Rivixter. Rivixter looks like he's had a bit of a small off there. Flashman in 9th. So Shadow Rider, he's got the fastest lap on lap 5 with a 2:19.4. He really has found the sweet spot for that Porsche right now. Bunny is dropping away. I think his tyres have gone. It looks like he's struggling in the corners, and Cymex is catching the man up. Skyjacker's up into 4th. Skyjacker's got ahead of Jokers. Jokers' tyres absolutely torn apart. 2:23.5 last time around for Jokers, and Skyjacker now up into 4th at 2:20.9. Like the Porsche, he's found the sweet spot. Pat there in 6th. Can he catch up also with Jokers? His tyre wear not as bad. A 2:22.3 last time around for Pat, and Jokers doing a 2:23.5. So, Pat's doing a bit of cross country, and as he catch it, he caught it. Great catch, Pat. Brilliant stuff there in 6th, just ahead of Jim. Jim's on a push with Rivixter in 8th, Flashman in 9th. The lead still in Shadow Rider's hands at the moment. We're 14 minutes, we're into the last minute. Shadow Rider crossing the the line to start another lap, lap 7. Here comes Bunny. Bunny still under pressure from Simex, but Simex not being able to just get that last push to get in there. The timer's still got 40 odd seconds left on it. Skyjacker up into 4th. He's not far away from those guys. He did a 2:20.6 the last time around. Simex did a 2:21 and 2:20.8, so I don't know if... Oh no! Skyjacker's gone really wide. Skyjacker's gone really wide. He's gone into the barrier. Joker's there. His Joker's got enough grip in those tyres to be able to get that 4th place back from the Toyota driver. This is crazy stuff on the last lap. Jim also made it with we've all made a line across the line because we haven't run out of time yet. So Flashman as well in 9th. I apologise. So Shadow Rider, Bunny under pressure from Simex. Skyjack still maintaining that 4th. Now we see this is the final lap that they're on. Whew. My word, Jokers are really trying to close down on that Toyota. His tyres are pretty mullered, but Skyjacker we saw having an off. It's a bit similar with tyre wear. Joker's trying to find that toe. And there you can see Skyjacker going defensive into the corner, sitting in the middle of the track, plonking it on the apex. But Joker's is coming out of the corner a lot faster. He took a better line, gets a better drive out. He's trying to flip it underneath Skyjacker, but he just can't quite. It's a heavy car. I don't think he can get the move done. Shadow Rider Bunny still trying to defend. He's alright. He's got that small gap from Simex. Skyjacker still ahead of Jokers. Jim has got ahead of Pat. We saw Pat having a small off and having to catch it. Jim obviously caught him up. Flashman has caught up Rivixter. Rivixter having a poor lap the last time around. His tyres are pretty worn. So we'll follow Shadow Rider now as he comes through the last few corners. This man took his first win 2 rounds ago, and he's won in every round since. He can't stop. And there he goes. He's across the line and take the win for round 4 of the GTMC Lobby 2. Here comes Bunny in 2nd place. Fantastic stuff. Simex in 3rd. Take a boo, my son. Skyjacker, what a great comeback for 4th place. Jokers in 5th. Jim in 6th. With Pat in 7th. And it's going to be tight between these two. Oh, I like to pause it and have a run through of people. But these two are going to race all the way up to the line, aren't they? Cheeky monkeys, how dare you? Yes, Shadow Rider, fantastic stuff. Well, I don't know how to do this. I can't do my rundown because I don't know what the last two are going to do. Right, hang on. They're coming round. Oh, they're not quite at the line there. Right, I'm going to pause it there and give it to Rivixter, possibly. Maybe. We'll see when we do the grid for the next race. So that was the sprint race. Wow, what a humdinger that was. Cracking stuff. There is your winner, Shadow Rider. Somebody stop me. Shadow Rider Mr. No, stop me now. Another win to his tally. Fantastic stuff. 2nd place for the McLaren driver, Bunny. That'll do great stuff for his championship. I should be writing these in to keep up with things. Shadow Rider 1, and Bunny, he gets another podium. He got 2 third places last round, and now a 2nd place. Great stuff there. Simex in 3rd. Cracking a race from Simex there. I don't think he just had the grip to be able to take the McLaren near the end. Where are you, Simex? I've written you in. There you go. And he's had 1 podium in round 2. He got a 3rd, so he's equalled his best with a 3rd place here at St. Croix. A great comeback from the man Skyjacker, and he nearly threw it away at the end but maintained it. So 4th place, that would be fantastic for his championship. 5th place for Jokers. Oh, he led for such a while. That Jaguar was strong, but the tyres just, it looked like the tyres didn't have 15 minutes in them. But Jokers bringing it home in 5th place. on the Ferrari, also on the comeback as well, with an early coming together with Skyjacker for 6th place, consolidating. What could have been worse? Pat in 7th. He was having a great race. He was up there in 4th at some point. Just looked like that Mustang fell away before the end of the race. Pat, where have I written you in? Oh, you were at the top, Pat. So 7th for Pat. His best position so far this season. 5th. So he nearly got there. He nearly got there with that 4th. Rivixter, I'm giving it him. We'll see him cross the line, but I'm pretty sure he's going to finish in 8th place. That's his best finish so far this season. So reasons to be cheerful. And Flashman in 9th. It looked like he was out of it, and he joined the pack again. Got himself a race, and that's his highest finish. So everyone should be buoyant. Right then, I'll let them two chaps cross the line so we can confirm that was 8th and 9th from them guys, and then we'll load up the next race. There you go, a Rivixter coming towards the line. Yes, and then I'll load up the next feature race, the 40-minute race. Here she comes. Get yourselves ready, strapped in. Whilst they were in the break between races, the randomator drew, believe it or not, 4th. After all them high numbers from the early parts of the season, it drew the lowest number it could, which I believe in this race will put Skyjacker on pole and reverse from there. So was it be Cymex in 2nd, Bunny in 3rd, and Shadow Rider 4th. Boom. In this race, or the racing super softs, racing soft, and racing medium tyres are all available. They only have to use 2 compounds, mandatory, and they have to use them for at least 3 laps. But now they've done the pit stop update. The 3 laps thing it's not worth taking a pit stop for a short length of time anyway, because you lose so much time in the pit stops. So that rule's kind of void now, I guess, mute. So Skyjacker leading them away here at Saint-Croix for round 4 in the Group 3 Supra. Cymex in 2nd in the Dodge Viper. A little dab on the brakes there as he follows the Supra around. There is Bunny in the McLaren in 3rd place, with Shadow Rider in the Porsche in 4th. Jokers as Jaguar still looking racy here at Saint-Croix. Having a look at Shadow Rider early doors. He's going to make a move. On the first lap, he's got himself up alongside the Porsche. Oh, he's lost the back end. He's lost the back end, and there's Jim in the Ferrari. He wants to come through. He hasn't made it through yet. He's got Pat behind him, Flashman in 8th, and Rivixter in 9th in the Mercedes. So Skyjacker leading from Cymex. He's built himself a nice little lead there, but Cymex could come back in the tow across the bridge. He's got Bunny all up in his busyness, with Shadow Rider dropping behind, and there comes Jokers again. The power of that Jaguar is just unbelievable, and Shadow Rider's a sitting duck on the bridge, but the Jaguar just can't do it under brakes. And whoa, you see the Porsche there nearly take off over the hill, doing a little bunny hop. Skyjacker looking like his lead isn't as comfortable as it was before when he got to the bridge, with Cymex there close behind him. Bunny, Shadow Rider still maintaining that 4th from Jokers behind them. Pat up to 6th in the Mustang, ahead of Jim in the Ferrari, but Jim's having a look around the outside. Can he do it? No, but he's got Flashman just up and inside if he doesn't get it right. And Flashman's there, so Jim has got to make sure. No, Flashman just eases it up the inside of the Ferrari. They had a bit of a coming together, but they're still moving in the right direction. And Flashman's dropped behind. He must have lifted, let Jim through. And there is Rivixter right close behind him. And what a cracking race here. So Joker's there having a little kiss of the barrier ahead of the Mustang. You can't do that too often, or Pat will be having some of that. Skyjacker still leading from Cymex, with Bunny in 3rd. Remember, it's a long race. We've got a long way to go yet. And there you can see already Skyjacker having to go defensive from the Dodge. The Dodge looking like it's punchy early, and Skyjack has gone on the super soft tyres for the first stint, where Simex, you can see, has chosen the racing soft, and Bunny, having a look at the Dodge, is also on the racing soft tyres, and they're keeping up with the Toyota on the less grippy tyres. But Simex has had a bit of an off. He's kissed the barrier. Bunny's moved up into second place. Shadow Rider, he holds no prisoners. He likes wins. And now Shadow Rider moving up into third in that Porsche, and Simex, oh, what a small mistake has cost him 2 positions. Early doors in this race though, so long plate way to go, and he's just got to stick to it, keep to the back of those cars. There's Jokus, he's dropped back a little bit from that battle with Jim, ending up ahead of Pat dropping, oh, Pat looks like he's hit the barrier. Oh, sorry, Pat. I want to see a car go into them barriers, because it is mad. So you can see Pat fall into Cinquois just on the entry to the bridge, and that's not so bad. It's not so bad. It was just a little tap. I thought it was going to be head on in there, Pat. So Pat nudging the barrier just as he goes onto the bridge, and it bit him badly. So Bunny now leading. Bunny is leading. What has happened here whilst we were watching Pat? Let's have a go back. Who was leading? So we saw Shadow Rider getting past Simex because of Simex mistake. Bunny comes across the bridge up the inside of Skyjacker. He's carrying more speeds down the bridge as they get to this corner. Oh, both of them onto the brakes. Bunny a little braver. And there he goes up into first place. Skyjacker down into second. Shadow Rider there third, close behind. And Simex has caught him back up again to make a race of it. Joker's there in fifth, all on his own, with Jim in sixth. Quite similarly lonely, but Rivixton not too far behind Jim. Oh, Rivixton having another kiss with the barrier. Flashman in eighth in the Porsche, and Pat, after we saw his issues, down there in ninth. Still a long way to go though. Not even 4 minutes into this 40-minute race, so everything to race for. Shadow Rider now taking the lead. Shadow Rider is taking the lead from Bunny. Little clip back there, I think. So Bunny leading from Shadow Rider. Skyjacker dropping down. Simex has come back at him. Looks like Bunny got it all wrong in that corner, and Shadow Rider was there to collect. Thank you. He is the debt collector. Shadow Rider taking the lead. My words. Is he letting his sister play his game now? It's not the same driver. It's not the same driver from just a season ago. Shadow Rider fighting for the position from Bunny. Bunny giving it all in the McLaren. Simex has got ahead of the Supra. Skyjacker on those super soft tyres. He's going through an issue on lap 2. Coming back at him on lap 3. Joker's there in fifth. You can see all the action happening ahead of him. He's just got to catch the back end, and he's catching Skyjacker. Skyjacker is going to be under pressure from the Jaguar rather soon. In the chat, I can see the chat's coming up. Daniel Bunyan says, don't know how I held that car. I will be cancelling my contract with McLaren after this championship. Racer Brown does smileys. Pat says, might have had a couple of scrappy laps mid-race. Skyjack said, ready for my disaster. Gary Richards said, that's inside curb on the corner onto the bridge, just slingshots you straight into the barrier. Watching Jokers. Where's Skyjacker gone? What happened? Sorry, I was reading comments. When did that happen? Oh no. Skyjacker was ahead. You saw it, didn't you, you guys? Sorry, you're going to have to relive it again, Skyjacker. Oh, he's sliding out, and yes, oh dear. So Skyjacker was having some grip issues in that Toyota. That's how we saw him dropping down. Whew. Sorry, Skyjacker, you didn't need to relive the pain a third time. Gary Richards says a couple of times it almost caught me out. Pat saying wasn't as bad as it could have been, but I knew I was going too quick for the corner, so hitting the wall was inevitable. Skyjack said his missus takes over for him, lol. Gary Richards says, yeah, you have to be pretty cozy with the barriers coming down the hill, and also sharp on the brakes. Always kept my brake bias to the rear for the bit, so it would rotate and stank out corners. There you go. Sorry, I'm trying to read and I don't want to miss too much racing. So Shadow Rider leading from Bunny. Simex in third. They're quietly nicely spaced out now. Looks like Bunny getting very close to the Porsche though. A 2:10.7 on lap 2. Shadow Rider doing a 2:09.4. The fastest of the lot, but it does definitely look like Bunny closing in on that Porsche. Sorry, Simon's Dodge Viper in fourth with Jokers there in moving up into fourth. Sorry, Simex in third after Skyjacker decided to join those at the back. Jim is in fifth now in the Ferrari. A great race for Jim, keeping his head down on those super soft tyres. We'll start looking at fuel. Whoa, Jim having a meet with the barrier. We're only 6.5 minutes into this 40-minute race, but we will start checking out the next run through what people's fuel levels are starting to look like. Rivixter up into 6th in that Mercedes with Skyjacker down into 7th. He's still not learned. He's throwing it around. Flashman there, who saw him touching a barrier in the background, and Pat playing catch up with his meeting with his barrier. So then, let's have a look. Shadow Rider under a lot of pressure right now from the McLaren of Bunny. Oof. It's looking like a handful for Shadow Rider. He's on the racing soft tyres. He's just got over half a tank of fuel. He did the fastest lap on lap 3 with a 2:08.804. But during these twisty bits, Bunny really does look like he has got the faster car. He did a 2:09.3. He's just lost the McLaren a little bit going over the bridge. And these two are racing for real, guys. There's nothing being held back here. Bunny in the tow, trying to get that first place. He's just got over half a tank of fuel also. So these two, a similar strategy as of yet, using the racing soft tyres, the more durable tyre, so managing to be able to go longer into this race. Bunny doing an absolutely great job. He's going to try and make a move for the lead, but it's on the outside. While Shadow Rider protects his in, but he's just done the switcheroo. He's gone up the inside. Has he braked enough? Shadow Rider coming around, and no. Ooh, Bunny just had to brake a little bit too much into that corner. He got up past Shadow Rider, but outbraked himself, and Shadow Rider just cruised on by and said, "All day, mate." Or as we are thinking, it's Shadow Rider's mum driving. Skyjack said wheel issues was distracting with not shifting properly. That was Skyjacker's issues then. He had a wheel issue. I think he had to move over to controller by the end of the race. So and there goes Bunny in the tow, under braking. He's got the inside line. Shadow Rider though, smooth, unflustered at all, just keeping his race in line, making Bunny do all the work. Bunny's the one burning his tyres at the moment, doing all the work, trying to get past Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider just holding his race in line, being cool, being smooth. He's doing a great job out there. So Skyjacker, oh, Iron Bobber, how's the lads? A good battle for first. It's amazing. Iron Bobber, you joined around time as same time as Shadow Rider. I remember, I'm sure of it. I'm sure you all joined around the WRX because Shadow Rider had the RAF livery. Look how he's come on, man. Look at him. He's been winning races this season, and he won the first race, and he's leading this race. It's unbelievable. I'm telling you, it's his mum driving. To Shadow Rider ahead of Bunny. Simex in that third place. He's just keeping them in view, but it looked like Bunny's pulling out again on Shadow Rider. Bunny going for the lead. He's up the inside. Shadow Rider trying to maintain, but no, he slipped down into second. Can he come back at the McLaren? The McLaren looks like he's outbraked himself into this tight corner, and there goes Shadow Rider again. Amazing battling up at the front. We've got to look at the rest of the gang. There's Simex. He's on the racing soft tyres. He's just under half a tank of fuel. We're just over 10 minutes into this race. Jim up into 4th place. He's got himself ahead of Jokers. Jokers there. Looks like he's struggling to keep the Jaguar on the road at the moment. So Jim up into 4th. He's just under half a tank of fuel. He's on the racing super soft tyres. He's just done his fastest lap with a 209.356. Jokers in 5th place with a 209.885. He's on the racing super soft tyres. He's just over a quarter of a tank of fuel. That Jaguar is very thirsty. He will have to do a 2-stop strategy this evening. Skyjacker there. We heard he had wheel issues. Wheel, not real. So, well, real issues with his wheel. So, Skyjacker in 6th place. He's on the racing super softs. He's somewhere between half a tank and a quarter of a tank of fuel. I can't see that getting him. I don't know. Maybe it'll get him to lap 20. Oh, not lap 20. It's 20 minutes, which is a 1-stop strategy. We saw a couple of one guy. A couple of guys. No, I think in the end there was only one guy that went for a 1-stopper. I think those that looked like they were going to do a 1-stopper at Shortfield and it turned into a 2-stop. There's Rivixter into the pits now already. He's got a fair bit of fuel on there. Maybe he's going through 3-stop. He's on the racing super softs. Bunny's got the lead again from Shadow Rider. These two still raging on for Simex. He's catching them both up in his Dodge Viper. He'll be loving seeing this action ahead of him. If we get on board with Shadow Rider to see some cracking racing in his video monitor, you can see the headlights of the Dodge Viper, but it doesn't matter because Shadow Rider has made the move to get back ahead of Bunny. These two will not give it up. They won't let anyone else have any. No, Iron Bobber, you were awesome, dudes. You got a podium. I remember you got a podium your first season in the WRX. So Shadow Rider and Bunny are still fighting it out there. Simex in 3rd place, Jim in 4th, Jokers in 5th, Skyjacker 6th, Pat in 7th, 8th for Flashman, and 9th for Rivixter, but Rivixter has pitted. And I don't believe anyone else has so far. Flashman is on a quarter of a tank of fuel. He looks like he's quite adrift of Pat. So again, another race of just a bit of testing, getting used to the Porsche as the season goes. Oh, he's losing grip on those tyres now. The Pat has gone into the pits in his Mustang. Just under a quarter tank of fuel. His super softs looking quite worn. Skyjacker out there in 6th place. Looks quite away from Jokers, who now looks quite away from Jim. Shadow Rider leading these two, still racing it out. Both of them have got similar fuel loads. Both of them on the same tyres with similar tyre wear, tyre deck. Looks like the Porsche is handling it a bit better than the McLaren. This racing just doesn't stop. Flashman, the other Porsche, he's come in to the pits. Now, oh, that McLaren looked like he was virtually sideways all the way around that corner. That is music to Simex's eyes. It's a joy to Simex's eyes seeing the McLaren so slidey. Although the Dodge is looking like it's wearing its tyres rather bad as well. Whoa, under braking. Nearly caught Simex out there, I think. He didn't expect it. Simex now up into 2nd spot in his Dodge Viper. Bunny's not making it as difficult as he possibly can, but he's definitely struggling for grip out there at the moment, is Bunny. Oh, he's going sideways in every corner now. Bunny, you have to pit, my friend. You have got to put that car in the pit lane and get some grippier tyres. You are not going to 1-stop this. At this point, you may as well go in. Go in. He stays out. He stays out with this car, even though it's not getting any traction in any corner, but he's coming back at Simex. Even though he's got no grip, they're losing Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider running away. The Ferrari of Jim has come into the pits. And Bunny is moved back up into second place. He's giving it a jolly good go, isn't he, eh? My word. Shadow Rider then, leading on lap 8 of this 40-minute race. We're nearly 16 minutes in. People are starting to pit. Not Bunny, even though he looks like he's got a little grip, especially on that rear left tyre. It's really taking a hammering. Simex there, he's got a lot more grip going than Bunny has. Jim back out of the pits in 4th place with a nice racing soft tyres on, 3/4 of a tank of fuel. So he'll be visiting the pits again before the end of the race. Skyjacker's gone in. He's really topping up with fuel, and we imagine he's going to put racing softs on. Nice long run for Skyjacker in the middle of this race. He's ahead of the Ford Mustang that pitted a lap earlier. Rivixter also pitting a couple of laps earlier. And Flashman, we saw, well, I thought we saw him coming in, but oh, he's on his outlap, but it doesn't look like he looks like that horrible glitch where it kicks you back out of the pits again. You don't feel like you pressed the button, but it doesn't put no fuel in, because it looks like he's got to go back around again and put some fuel in. Absolutely steaming in that Porsche, I imagine, with his pit crew. There'll be some choice words as he pulls up to them, saying, "You absolute fools." So out there, his teammate, also the fuel is flashing. He's ready for a pit stop. Simex back up in second. His fuel is flashing, and so is Bunny's. So the top 3 all running on fumes. At this point, Bunny must have been absolutely shattered after this race, because he has spent the whole of it racing either Shadow Rider or Simex. It's an absolute beautiful thing to see. Poetry in motion. And there they go. Shadow Rider already into the pits. Simex trying to get into the pits before Bunny. So the top 3 in. Jim's already pitted, but he's quite away. I think they lose around about, well, I worked it out, it was 30 seconds, but Jim didn't lose 30 seconds. Jim looks like he only lost around about 26 seconds in the pit lane. I don't know how far Jim is. He's just coming up to the last corner now. Shadow Rider was the first in the pits. He's still sitting still. They've released Shadow Rider now, and he's kept the lead. Jim is moved up into second. Bunny's still stationary. He's just going now with Simex. Can they jump Jim? Jim just moves up into second place. Jim, the strategician. And there, Simex and Bunny are going to continue their battle that they were doing before their pit stop. It's like they just had like a quick 30-second rest before going back out there and doing it all over again. Bunny ahead of a Simex. Shadow Rider then leading, full tank of fuel. He's put the super soft tyres on. He lost around 30 seconds. Jim in second. With his early pit stop, he's made the undercut ahead of Bunny and Simex. Great move from Jim there. He did underfuel it though, so he's going to have to come in a lot sooner than the other two, but everyone's going to have to come in. I don't think anyone's managed to make their tanks last a full half a race. We're not even at 19 minutes yet, and I believe everyone has pitted, so no one's doing a one-stop strategy in this lobby. Shadow Rider leading. He's got himself a nice bit of space from Jim. Jim though, under pressure from the 2 cars behind. He'll be hoping they distract each other with their racing, so he can just have a nice comfortable drive between pit stops. Sat on board with the Dodge making the move on the McLaren. Early doors in the corner. Has he made it stick? It says third. I'm expecting to see the McLaren come through again, but no, it looks like it's stuck behind us now. And Simex making the move to get up into third place. Great stuff from Simex. Can the Red Bull McLaren come back at the Dodge Viper? What a race we are having. Super stuff. So the Dodge Viper having a little sweet lap there, managing to get ahead of Bunny. Shadow Rider leading from Jim. Simex in third, Bunny in fourth, Joker's there. Quite a lonely race in fifth. Skyjacker not too far behind, and Pat's not too far behind Skyjacker. Pat's just about to cross the line. We'll see what lap time he did that last time around. A 2:10.8. Skyjacker did a 2:10.7. So Pat's on pace with Skyjacker at the moment. The Supra, excuse me, and the Mustang are not too far apart. Jokers did a 2:11.8. So the two cars behind him are faster than him at the moment. Flashman saying evening all in the chat. And he says, have I crashed yet? So Jokers, he's up his pace a little bit, or he's going to be caught by Skyjacker and Pat as they race each other up to him. Shadow Rider leading the way with a nice buffer from Jim in the Ferrari, the lone Ferrari out there. I really like its livery. I think it's smooth as F. SZN in the chat saying evening guys. Hello everyone. We're having a cracking race. Cymex is there under pressure from Bunny again. We're 22 minutes virtually into this race. It's a 40-minute race. Oh no! What's happened there? Jim has made a mistake. Oh no! He's got some damage. He was there happily in second. Just went out, oh, a little bit wide, and it just spun him into the barrier. Poor Jim, poor Ferrari, all that work. But still, only dropping down to fourth. Not bad. Where is Jokers? He's some way back. So, Jim managing to get dust off and crack on again. He's still carrying that damage. You can see Cymex and Bunny ahead of him. So Shadow Rider leading the way from Cymex in second, but Bunny is hot on his tail. Bunny is looking for a Viper scalp to add to his collection. Oh, it was very close going into that corner. But Bunny, it says, up into second place. Cymex down into third. But Cymex is still there using the grunt of that Dodge to keep up alongside that McLaren. But the McLaren holds off that second place. And Cymex has to wait for another bit of straight road so he can power past. Dodge really powerful. Ooh. But that McLaren very unstable in the corners. You can see the McLaren swings from like a pendulum in the corners. It slides around. Cymex just trying to maintain behind. Jim, meanwhile, coming back from his small off to try and catch those two up. As they race each other, they will slow each other down. All playing into the hands of Shadow Rider, who is leading out there at the moment. 3/4 of a tank of fuel on the super soft tyres. He did a 209.784. His last time around, he has the fastest lap of a 208.804. Bunny in second place with a 209.199 last time around. It was his fastest lap also. He's got just under 3/4 of a tank of fuel, and he's opted to go for the racing softs again. Cymex making a move, powering past. Has he outbraked himself? He's in the corner. Bunny though, no, that's it. The Dodge, absolutely beasting it. A 209.288 from Cymex last time around. He's gone for racing softs again, and he's just over half a tank of fuel. The Dodge very thirsty next to them cars around him, and Bunny wants it back in that McLaren. Poor Bunny hasn't stopped racing the whole race through. Noticed he's added a VRC at the front of his name. That's very nice. Thank you very much. It's always nice. As is Jim, obviously. Jim on the comeback, he looks like. There goes Bunny trying to get that inside line. Trying to get the McLaren, the nimble McLaren in the corners. And he looks like he's got it. He's got it up there. Cymex just sitting and waiting, keeping his race line and hoping he can get some opportunity to power past. Pat back into the pits there with his racing softs. 25 minutes into this race. Skyjacker, we saw he wasn't too far behind Skyjacker. Skyjacker's still got half a tank of fuel. He's only just started using those softs. He's catching up with Jokers, I'd say. 2:11.9 last time around for Jokers. Skyjacker doing it over 2:12.8, so maybe not. Maybe he was catching up with Jokers, but has dropped off these last couple of laps. Rivixter in 7th place. We saw he was early in the pits. He's got just under quarter of a tank of fuel. He's getting through his racing softs. He did it to 11.314 the last time around. But I think, yeah, he's quite a way back from Skyjacker at this point. Pat coming out the pits in 8th place. Full tank of fuel, super soft tyres. And he's not too far behind Rivixter. So Pat will be catching him up pretty soon. And there is Flashman in 9th. He did his fastest lap on lap 9 with a 2:11.820. So, oof, a little rub with the barrier. And there is his teammate leading the race, Shadow Rider. Absolute beast in it. Cymex up, he's still in that 2nd place with Bunny trying to find a way past again. Up is inside. It's just nothing on. This is crazy racing from these two. We're on board with Bunny. He must be up alongside Cymex again. There's Cymex, we can see just on the inside of us. This is fantastic here. We are nearly 27 minutes through this 40-minute race. 13 minutes left to go. Got another round of pit stops to go before we see the checkered flag. There's Bunny trying to go for that inside line. And Cymex holding the line around the outside. Beautiful respect for these racers. Please don't do something silly, you two, after I've said beautiful respect from these two. And Skyjacker into the pits. So can Pat jump Skyjacker on this round of pit stops? They were quite close on track. It's one to keep an eye out for. Rivixter yet to pit stop. He probably might pit stop at the end of this lap, as we're sat on board with 3rd place Bunny in the McLaren, chasing down 2nd place Cymex in the Dodge Viper. Rivixter also going into the pits. Pat showing in 6th, but no, Skyjacker back out of the pits in 6th ahead of Pat. We'll have to cut to that because it's going to be rather close, I believe. So there's Skyjacker and Pat just a little bit further back, but still. Will that fuel get him to the end? I believe it will. So this race now is all the way till the end. Pat pitting the lap before. And now he's hunting down himself a Supra. Joker's there in 5th place, a quarter of a tank of fuel, so he will probably need to pit again before the end of the race. Is Skyjacker close enough to be able to attack the Jaguar? Once the Jaguar comes out of the pit, it's Shadow Rider then. He's absolutely owning Cinquois. He won the sprint race. He battled with Bunny early parts of this race and he's going in. There he goes. Oh, he's got half a tank of fuel. So he's going in with 12, just nearly 11 minutes to race. Cymex is staying out ahead of Bunny. Bunny's got a lot more fuel than Cymex. Cymex starting to burn through fuel in the Dodge Viper. Just over a quarter of a tank of fuel for him. Bunny's got just under half a tank of fuel. Jim's also come into the pits. His fuel is flashing though. So interesting strategy being played by Shadow Rider. He obviously doesn't want to pit too late in the race. He's got his super softs on. He's got 3 just over, well, quite nearly a whole tank of fuel. So he must have worked this out. And yes, he didn't want to do a last minute pit stop. He wants to get in early and have a good run all the way to the checkered flag. White Cymex and Bunny are racing each other on track, slowing each other down for Shadow Rider. No, I must say, Bunny is going to be my man of the day. I mean, Shadow Rider probably is going to win 2 rounds, which is immense. It's unbelievable stuff. But for me, Bunny has been at it from beginning, green light to nearly checkered flag. Bunny has been racing someone, and that McLaren looks like it's a handful in the corners. It really does. It looks like it slides through most of the corners. So hats off to Bunny in this race. He's trying again a move on the dodge, and it's just not powerful enough. The McLaren just not got that top end, but under brakes. Maybe he's going to do it now. Can he? There's Simex staying super cool around the outside and maintains that first place. So nothing can shake Simex. He has got it all under control. Poor old Bunny is throwing everything he's got, every trick up his sleeve in that McLaren to try and make, even maybe just make Simex make a mistake. He obviously just hasn't got the grunt to get past the dodge, so he's just got to try and distract him, try and loom large in his mirrors, try and make Simex make a mistake, and Simex just won't. He's just driving like a robot at the moment. He's got great, a 210.3 last time around, a 209.1, a 210.5, 210.2. It's so consistent. Bunny trying all he can to pressure the Dodge Viper. Meanwhile, Shadow Rider in third after his pit stop, getting back into his rhythm. Skyjack is saying, despite Shadow Rider's dominance, Simex and Bunny have been phenomenal all race. Excellent craft from them both. It has been. It's been brilliant racing, respect given. Simex still leading from Bunny. No. They need a pit stop just for a rest, as they haven't stopped all race. This is fantastic stuff. And here comes Bunny again to try and get that inside line on Simex. And they've got a lapped car ahead of them. Bunny there, edging through. Simex caught the McLaren again, stepping out. But Bunny finally making the move. Simex down into second, but Simex's fuel is flashing. He's probably aware of that, but he's back all over the back of the Dodge. A little kiss of the barrier, and it looks like the Porsche getting out of the way. Oh no, that's the wrong Porsche. Yes, the Flashman's Porsche getting out of the way of the leaders. And Bunny goes through. Bunny's still got good fuel though. Quarter of a tank of fuel, and here comes Simex again under braking in that corner, and he makes it stick. Whoa, Bunny's losing the back end, but he caught it. Crazy guys, you nutcases, the pair of you. My word, what a race. And there's the fuel. It's on fumes, is that Dodge Viper right now. Absolute fumes, with Bunny pushing that button. And they both, well, Simex definitely needs to see the pit stop. Shadow Rider, meanwhile, just getting his head down, cracking on, just driving. There goes Simex into the pits. Bunny continues on again for another lap or two. Shadow Rider coming around to retake second spot from Simex. There is Jim in fourth. We saw him pit early. Half a tank of fuel. Shadow Rider just over half a tank of fuel. Will that be enough fuel for the Ferrari driver to take this to the end? Can he get a jump? We saw earlier he got a jump on Simex and Bunny, but I'm not sure. No, you can see Bunny leaving the pits. Not Bunny, sorry, Simex leaving the pits in third place ahead of Jim. Excuse me. Jim, yeah, he's still Jim off the track at the moment in his Ferrari. I was going to say it's still doable, but you got to stay on the track. Skyjack saying at Daniel Bunyard, how are you holding those slides, mate? It's unbelievable, isn't it? So Bunny opted not to pit yet. One of the last guys out there who has not pitted. Shadow Rider pitting a good couple of laps ago now. He's got about half a tank of fuel. He was easily leading this race before his pit stop. A little kiss of the barrier. There is Simex in third, just coming out of the pits. He's racing Bunny for second. And he'll be hoping to bang in some absolutely bonsai outlap to try and jump Bunny when Bunny comes into the pits. The question is, how long will Bunny stay out? His fuel has started flashing, so this is probably it. He's probably cooked his goose. The back end of that McLaren absolutely all over the place. It's like he's driving on ice in that McLaren. It's unbelievable. with barriers so close to the side of the track. It's a scary aspect to try and sling your car around the way he slung his car around this evening. It really is. And there he goes in to replenish the fuel. Has Simek done enough then? Has Simek's got enough on that McLaren to be able to jump ahead of it in the pit stops? We have only got 5 minutes left, than 5 minutes left of racing. Where did that go? Bunny stationary at the moment. Simex is just coming on to the start straight. Bunny is still stationary. Simex is showing up into second. He's gone across the line. Bunny's coming out of the pits. Bunny's in second. Simex just shot through into the first corner, into second. He manages to do it. He managed to do it on his outlap, but Bunny now on the super soft tyres, half a tank of fuel. He is got a fire in his belly as Bunny, and we've seen all the way through this race he has not stopped racing, and he will race up until that black and white flag for that second spot. Unbelievable stuff here. Shadow Rider back into the lead, cruising across the bridge on a Sunday drive next to Simex and Bunny. Unbelievable on the push pressure in each other. Jim up into fourth place there, got a nice gap behind. He's not far behind that battle. If these two race too much, or even do the unspeakable and take each other out, Jim is there to collect. He's on the bridge. They're at the end of the bridge. So Jim really did well to keep up with these guys during this race. Skyjacker in fifth place. He's got himself ahead of Jokers. We saw him chasing Jokers for the longest of times. Now he's managed to get ahead of Jokers in fifth place. Good point scoring. And Jokers has only got Pat very close behind. This race could continue until the end. Pat's on the super soft tyres, quarter of a tank of fuel. We're down to less than 3 minutes of racing. Simex there. Simex and Bunny side by side. This is crazy stuff. Bunny up into second, but Bunny's had a bit of a... Oh no, I thought he was off. Hoo-wee. So Simex and Bunny, they're going to continue on all the way till the end. This is unbelievable. Bunny up into second place now in that McLaren on those super soft tyres. He is on an absolute mission in this race here in France at Saint Croix for round 4 of the GTMC. Unbelievable stuff. And Simex in the Dodge Viper. We know he's got the oomph. He's got the power to take it to the McLaren. And there he goes up the inside on the first corner. And Bunny all he can do is sit and watch the Dodge fly by. Pat saying the race with me and Jokers might just continue. I'll have to keep an eye on that. Oh, there we see. Yeah, Pat just making the move on Jokers. I'll knock it back. Jokers there in 6th on those racing softs. Pat on the super softs coming around fast, and the Jaguar looking like it's struggling through the corners, and Pat around the outside. Great move there from Pat. The Jokers, but Jokers is coming back up the other side of you, side by side down the start straight, heading towards the first corner. The Jokers just got his nose in front, but Pat's got the inside line. Who can make it through? The Jaguar just ahead of the Mustang. Racing all over the place. We've been concentrating on Bunny and Simek, and here we can see 4th, 6th and 7th Jokers and Pat battling it out in the last minute of the race. Jaguar managing to pull a bit of breathing space out on the Mustang. Rivixter a little bit further back with Flashman further back still. Shadow Rider then bringing it around. He's probably going to have to do another lap after this one. Bunny settling into that second place. Simex looking like he just wants to bring the Dodge Viper home. He did his fastest lap at 2:08.958 the last time around. Bunny doing a 2:09.5. So Simex is pushing. He's pushing with everything he's got in that Dodge all the way up until the end. We've only got 10 seconds left of racing. I don't even know Shadow Rider's going to make it across, but he may be the only one. Here comes a Bunny ahead, and the 40 minutes is gone. So Bunny looks like he's going to get second spot after all that racing, and well deserved. Brilliant stuff. Simex gets third. Take a boo, my son. Great racing from all three of them up the front. There is Jim. He almost got it statistically perfect. He nearly got a great strategy on there. If he hadn't hit the wall, he might have been up there with Bunny and Simex. So a great fourth for the Ferrari driver, Jim. Skyjacker bringing her home in fifth after getting himself ahead of Jokers in that Supra. Brilliant stuff there. Fifth place for Skyjacker. Sixth for Pat. Well, is it sixth for Pat? Pat and Joker's coming down the straight, and no, Joker's got sixth. Wow, it must have been a photo finish between those two. Pat in seventh. Rivixter bringing her home for eighth. Where is Shadow Rider? He's not there yet. I'll pause it before he gets there. So Rivixter bringing her home in eighth place. We know he had a terrible round the last round because he was getting used to a brand new wheel, and this is looking a lot better than then, so he must be starting to get used to that wheel. And when he masters that wheel, watch out Shadow Rider. So Rivixter crossing the line for 8th place. So we're just waiting for Shadow Rider to bring her home on his lap of glory. What is wrong with this kid, eh? Who invited him to the party? This will be his, only his 4th win this season. The Porsche driver, absolutely on fire. He will not stop. He cannot stop. He's been stained with a win, and I think he's got his sights on the championship here for Lobby 2 of the GTMC. With this amount of wins and no Geordie today, it's looking like it's Shadow Riders to take, really. But there we see Shadow Rider coming around to take the 2nd victory in this round. Double victory. We've not had anyone do that so far this season, so huge congratulations to Shadow Rider on his double win. Bunny in a great 2nd spot. Bunny must have been absolutely his second spot. He got 2 2s in this race, and man did he have to work for it. So hard fought. Simex also an awesome race in the Dodge Viper, fighting all the way with Bunny. Those two, man alive, they must have been buzzing when they got off after the race. They must have been drained and absolutely bouncing off the walls. So another third. So great positions, all the same as the Group 4 positions, with Shadow Rider winning the sprint and feature, Bunny getting 2nd in the sprint and the feature, and Simex getting 3rd in the sprint and the feature. Take a boo, my son. Jim almost had the best strategy. I reckon he might have been able to jump the 2 cars in front of him, but we saw he had a bit of an off. But 4th place, fantastic stuff, great points, still keeps him in. One eye on the championship. It's a long season, we're not even halfway through it yet. Skyjacker in 5th place, having early issues and coming back to get 5th. 6th for Jokers, that Jaguar, quite a handful, but just at the end there, snatching 6th place from Pat in the Mustang, who finishes in 7th for Pat. And I will find you, you're at the top. So yeah, he got 7th in the sprint race as well. 8th for Rivixter in the Mercedes, and 9th for Flashman in the 2nd Porsche. He's there. So another look at your double winner for this evening. What a great job. Is there a better camera angle? Is that about as good as it's going to get? Yeah, the back end you get to look at before he crosses the line. I feel like I need to let you see him cross the line, so I'll wrap everything up and then I'll just press play and then we'll end the broadcast. So yes, great stuff. We have got the Pacific Rim tomorrow evening, Thursday evening, so join us then for a live stream, and then on Sunday is the final round of the Formula X, so again that'll be live streamed, so join us then. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, because that's what all the trendy people do apparently. Also in the chat, what have I missed? Big G has said hello. Skyjacker said, and a lap of honour. Well done, Sam. Top job. IRG says, guess I showed up too late. And Pat said, about 200ths between us at the line. I think I'll be watching the last couple of laps again a couple of times. Wow, it was crazy. Crazy racing between Pat and Jokus for the end of the race. And Bunny and Cymex pretty much the whole race. I've told you about what's coming up on the streams. Not much news from the VRC to tell you, really. I don't think there's anything signed or anything. Oh, there's a rally night. There's a rally night on Sunday following Formula X, sorry, that are signing up. I think there's about 11 people signed up. I've got my name down for it. A bit of a Rally Legends night. So the stream will probably be done on a replay if I'm taking part. So yeah, get your name down for that. It'd be fun. Let's go and get down and dirty in the mud with some cracking cars. Right, I'll wrap this up. I was your broadcaster and commentator, Mike Litterus. Thank you for watching. I will see you tomorrow night, hopefully, for Pacific Rim. Oh my lord, I think it's Special Stage Route X or whatever they call it. So that's going to be very interesting. Join us then, and I'll let Shadow Rider cross the line. We're ready. Where is the button? Doon doon do do doon do 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 doon do 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 do. Well done, Sam. I mean, Shadow Rider. Bye.